Hi everybody, welcome to the Lexus Virtual Classroom. My name is Melissa O'Connell. I'm a Lexus Technology Specialist, and today I'm going to show you around the Lexus IS. In fact, I shot this video over a couple of different days, and we had some varying weather conditions, so I've got some cool features to show you that really show off better at night and in the rain. So let's check it out. You'll notice parking sensors on the front bumper integrated into the lower corners of the grille. And across the rear bumper. Can you tell it's raining? The Smart Access key for the IS has a lock button, unlock, and then push to open for the trunk. It also has an alarm button. If you're still using the alarm button to locate your vehicle in a parking lot, go ahead and change over to the Lexus app. The Lexus app has Lexus Enform Remote built right in. It even includes the ability to locate your vehicle in its last parking place. The Lexus Enform subscription service does rely on a cell signal to locate the vehicle, but once it's found it, just zoom in for more detail. The IS comes with a trial period for all compatible Lexus Enform connected technologies. To pop open your trunk, just push and hold. The trunk will unlock, then you can lift to open. Notice that there's also a touchpad on the lower right side. This will allow the Smart Access key to unlock the trunk for you. Simply feel for the touchpad and push. As long as you have your key on you, it will open. Let's take a look inside the trunk. You have a cargo net with a zip pouch. To store it, just unhook at the top anchor points, and then you'll roll the netting up and zip it into the pouch. Once you've rolled the netting up, then you can go ahead and zip it closed. You can either leave the pouch zipped and attached at the bottom anchor points, or you can go ahead and remove them if you need to access below the cargo mat. Are you enjoying the Texas storm in the background? The hooks for the lower anchors are plastic, so definitely make sure to unhook and remove the cargo net and pouch if you need to access anything below. You have the bracket for your front license plate. Make sure to hold on to that, especially if you live in a state where front license plates are required. The first aid kit is located just on the right side. To access your spare tire, go ahead and roll up and remove your cargo mat. Then you can lift up on the handle. You'll notice that the handle has a hook. You're going to take that hook and place it gently up on the edge of the trunk. This is a soft trim piece, so you don't want to damage the trunk lid trim. That's going to allow you to work hands-free. Now, another option is to just snap the hook back into place and then remove the cargo cover altogether. You'll notice that you have tools for changing a tire nestled all around the spare. Make sure to be careful when you remove the sound dampening styrofoam. It is molded to fit into place, and you want to take good care of that. It keeps everything quiet when you put all of your tools back in place. The jack is on the left-hand side, just underneath that styrofoam piece. On the right-hand side, you'll see your wheel lock key. This is really important to hold on to, so if you need to change your tire, make sure to have this nested right back into its storage place. To locate the wheel lock, just look for the lug nut with the wave pattern. When you're ready to put the cargo cover in place, just lift up. You can snap the handle back in and nest everything back together. You can put your carpeted cargo mat back in, and then the cargo net. When you're putting the cargo net pouch back in, you want to make sure that the hooks are closest to the back of the vehicle. This will allow you to easily reattach your cargo net pouch. Just hook the clip onto the D-rings on both sides. Then you can unzip the pouch and hook the top loops to the top anchor points. Use the handle inside on the right side of the trunk just to bring it down and close her up. The fuel door on the IS is push to release. Also take note that the IS does require premium fuel. If you push on the fuel door and it doesn't open, it just means it's locked. The fuel door locks when your vehicle locks. You can use the button on your smart key or simply put your hand in your driver's door handle and it will unlock your fuel door. That means that as long as your system is programmed to unlock the driver's door only, your driver's door and your fuel door will open, but the remaining doors on your IS will still be locked. It's a great safety feature, especially if you're driving alone. All set. As long as you have the Smart Access key on your person, you can simply put your hand in the door handle to unlock. You put your hand in the driver's door handle and it's going to unlock the driver's door only. You can lock and unlock from the driver's door and the front passenger door. If you're using the front passenger door handle, it's going to unlock all doors on the IS. The driver's door handle is programmed to unlock the driver's door only, but that is a customizable feature. I'll show you how to make that adjustment in the settings a little bit later on. Check out this really cool welcome light feature that's part of the Smart Access system. As I approach my IS, when it's locked and we have the door mode turned on for the dome lights, you get these welcome puddle lamps under the side mirrors. Then just go ahead and use the Smart Access system, put your hand in the door handle, unlock, and you can enter your vehicle with a well-lit area. If you have second row passengers, when you unlock from the driver's door, if you have not customized the setting, it is going to only unlock the driver's door, so simply hit the unlock button in the door handle so that they have access to your vehicle. Did you know that you can lock your back seats in the IS from the trunk? That's because the seats fold down. So if you have cargo in the trunk that you would like to secure, if, for example, you're valet parking, you want to make sure to lock the seats. To lock the seats, simply reach in and flip the switch up to the locked position. Now the seats could not be folded down from inside. To unlock, flip it down where you can read the word unlock. This will allow you to fold the seats. To fold down the back seats of the IS, just use the lever that's at the shoulder point of both back seats. Release the lever and pull your seat down for more cargo area. And repeat on the other side for full cargo access. To lock out the power trunk, use the metal key to make sure that inside your glove compartment, you have pushed the trunk cancel button. Once you've pushed the trunk cancel button, you want to close the glove compartment and then re-lock the glove compartment and take the metal key with you and give the valet the key fob. Now the button for the trunk on the key fob, the button inside the car, and the button at the trunk will not power open. So if you've locked your seats in place, you've canceled the power trunk feature and locked your glove box, your trunk is secure. Make sure to turn the power trunk feature back on when you are ready. Just push the trunk cancel button back in and close your glove box and take your metal key with you. To remove the metal key from your key fob, just turn it on the side so that you can see the word push. You're actually going to push on the dot on the corner to release the lever, and then you can remove your metal key. You can use the metal key to lock your glove compartment, and if you have a Lexus with a pass-through that locks, it will lock that as well. The metal key is also used in emergencies to access your Lexus through the driver's door handle. When you put the seats up and into place, make sure that you push them until you hear a click. Then you'll know that they're secure and they're not going to move or rattle around while you're driving. We want to make sure that even with folding seats, you have a quiet luxury ride. The IS has lower anchor points for the latch system for car seats. Simply undo the Velcro and you will see the anchor points. Make sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions for the installation of your car seat. The IS has 3 top tethers, one behind each seat. To access a top tether, simply open the cover and you'll locate it just inside. Make sure to securely snap it back into place when you're not using a top tether. Center armrest with cup holders. Simply push the release to extend the cup holders. Make sure to slide it back into place if you do not have rear cabin passengers, just so that it doesn't get damaged. Let's move in to the front cabin. The first thing that you always want to do in a new vehicle is adjust your driving position. Make sure to do seat adjustments, forward, back, raise the hip point of the seat or lower, raise the front seat support or lower, and then of course adjust the seat back to your preferred driving position. Notice that you do have lumbar support, but it's not in this same recessed housing. That's because the lumbar support is not part of the driver position memory system. So if your IS has driver position memory, you'll be able to save your settings for your seat, your steering wheel, and your side mirrors. If you have a manual adjustment for your steering wheel, place your hand at the bottom of the center of the steering wheel and then move to the left, and you'll feel the lever. Just pull down to release. This will allow you to raise and lower the steering wheel, and you can even bring it forward or back. Simply pull to you, push away, lift up, or let it gently come down. When you have the steering wheel in the position that you prefer, go ahead and push up. Push up firmly until you feel it flush and in place. To adjust the steering wheel, you can bring it up, down, toward you, and away. Your side mirrors are adjusted in the driver's door. Choose L for left or R for right, and then make the adjustments on your touchpad. If your IS has driver position memory, Make sure to set your seat, steering wheel, and side mirror position. Then, push the word Set, let it go, and push the number that you would like to save for your driver position. Once you have a position saved, simply push that button number to recall it. Let's take a look at the buttons on the left side of the dash. You have your odometer trip meter button. Simply push and release and you'll toggle through trip A, trip B, how many miles you have left before your next oil change. Now keep in mind, you're going to have an oil change every 10,000 miles, but you're going to service every 5,000 miles or 6 months, whichever comes first. You even have a blank screen if that's what you prefer. Click again to return to your odometer. Click again to go to trip A. Push and hold to clear trip A or trip B. Brightness of the lights for your gauges. Push the up arrow to increase and the down to decrease. You'll see an indication for your adjustment right on the dash. Moving down on the left-hand side, you have automatic high beams. Just push to turn it on. You'll have a message on your dash telling you to activate your auto high beams by pushing your headlamp stalk forward. Also, you want to make sure that your low beams are in auto as well. If you have any blank buttons, that's all right. It just means that there are some features that are on a different package. Moving to our right, you have something called Active Sound Control. This is a dial that allows you to turn on and increase or decrease engine sound coming into the vehicle. Blind Spot Monitor, which also includes Rear Cross Traffic Alert. Blind Spot Monitor looks for vehicles in your blind spot on both sides of the IS. Rear Cross Traffic Alert notifies you if you're backing up and someone is crossing at the rear of the vehicle. Parking sensors. When you push to turn the parking sensors on, you'll see this same emblem on your dash in green. Coming down from our buttons on the left-hand side, you'll see the manual hood release and the power trunk button. Here's a glimpse at how these buttons light up at night. Even your power trunk button is lit. It's just the hood access, the manual hood release, that's not. Make sure to note that the emergency brake is push to turn on and push to release. Headlamp stalk is on the left side. If you turn the dial all the way to the bottom where it says DRL off, that means daytime running lights off. It actually means everything is turned off. Turn the selector to auto so that your headlights will turn on and off automatically as they need to. Turn up for daytime running lights and all the way to the top for low beams. Now, if you have manually twisted the dial to turn your low beams on, you will need to bring them to auto or off when you exit your vehicle. Most people prefer just to leave them in auto. Remember that pushing your headlights to the high beam position will activate automatic high beams if you have engaged the button on the left side. You have two headlamp indicators in green on the left side, your low beam headlights and your automatic high beam headlights, if those have been activated. Windshield wiper controls are on the right side of the steering wheel. If you see the abbreviation INT, it means you have intermittent wipers. You can control the speed of the intermittent wipers with the dial. Simply position the stalk for whichever mode you would like for your windshield wipers. Off is at the top. Simply click your windshield wipers down one to move from off to intermittent. Then you can adjust the speed of your intermittent wipers. If you click down again, you will be in the steady low position. Down once more, and you are in the steady high speed position. To reduce the speed or turn them off, just push up until you have them where you prefer. Down 1 for intermittent, down again for low, down again for high. Up to return to low, up again to return to intermittent, up again for off. If your wiper stock says auto, then you have automatic rain sensing windshield wipers. When you turn them on, you'll see a green light by the word auto and a swipe of the wiper blades. You can adjust the sensitivity of the auto wipers with the dial. At the top, they're the most sensitive, taking the least amount of water to activate. The bottom will take the largest amount of water to activate. If you want to be in charge of your wipers, push the button to turn auto off, and then you can simply click down for low, down again for high. Push back up for low, and again for off. Pull the stock to you to spray the front windshield. You have paddle shifters on the IS. You can upshift on the right and downshift on the left. Make sure that you have shifted into the manual position by pushing the gear shift to the left. And then you'll see that it's changed from D for drive to M for manual mode. Notice the plus and the minus. That means that you can actually upshift and downshift right on the gearbox if you prefer to shift with the gear shift rather than the paddle shifters. If you want to drive in automatic, push the gear shift back to the right at any time to go to D for drive. Now let's take a look at all of the buttons on the steering wheel. Let's start on the left-hand side. Plus and minus for volume for radio and telephone. Up and down through your radio presets, or if you're streaming audio, it will move you track to track. The mode button will cycle you through just by clicking and releasing AM, FM, satellite, Bluetooth, you name it. If you push and hold the mode button, you can pause or mute your audio. Push and hold again to resume. Answer a call, hang up or ignore a call and allow it to go to voicemail. Voice command system. If you're using the onboard voice command system, you're going to push and release, wait for the beep, and give your command. I'll show you some examples of how that works in just a moment. If you're going to use Siri Mobile Assistant with an iPhone, you're going to push and hold and wait for the listening tones to speak to Siri. Moving across to the right-hand side, you'll notice a panel of 4 arrows and a dot in the middle. These buttons and the 2 just below operate your multi-information display. Some of the multi-information display information appears at all times. Other information is hidden behind the sliding bezel. You open the menu by pushing the menu button. Check this out because this was inspired by our Halo vehicle, the LFA. If I push the menu button, you'll see the bezel slide. Push the menu button to slide the bezel and reveal your multi-information display. Use the left and right arrows to move you through all of the menu items. To the right, we have compass, an audio screen, our lane departure alert monitor, messages about service, and settings. If we arrow to the right again, we're right back where we started at the main information screen. Notice that there's a slide bar on the right-hand side of some of these menus. That means you can move up or down within the menu. You have 3 drive information screens that are customizable. I'll show you how to do that in our settings. Keep scrolling down for an eco indicator, a turbo monitor, a G-force monitor, your tire pressure monitor system, your gear position, and your sway warning. Your sway warning is connected to your lane departure alert system. It can also be customized. You have a blank screen option if that's your preference. Pushing the down arrow again and we loop back to the top. Let's shortcut this time and push the left arrow to take a look at our customizable settings. Our first item is lane departure alert. Push the dot in the middle of all the arrows to open up that menu. These are the items you can customize. Steering assist will give you a little nudge in the right direction. So if you start to veer out of your lane without your blinker on, your lane departure alert system is designed to give you an alert that can either be audible or a steering wheel vibration. You can also customize the sensitivity and turn the sway warning on or off. Arrowing down and you'll see that you can customize the sensitivity of the sway warning. Arrow down again to loop back to the top. Now we're going to use the Go Back button. The Go Back button is going to return us to the previous menu. Now we can arrow down to Pre-Collision System. Push the dot to open to see the settings that you can adjust. If you do choose to turn the pre-collision system off, it's going to turn back on the next time that you turn on your vehicle. It's preferred to just adjust the sensitivity of the pre-collision system rather than turning the system off. Push Go Back. Come down to your speed indicator, push the dot to open. Push the dot to toggle between on or off. If you turn it on, make sure to come in and choose your speed setting. The indicator is set to default at 75 miles per hour. This is a setting that you would want to adjust if you live in an area with higher or lower speed limits. Push the Go Back button. Push Go Back again to come back to our menu. Arrow down to clock and you can change from a 24-hour digital clock or a 12-hour digital clock. Arrow down again to vehicle settings. Push the dot to open the menu and you'll see scheduled maintenance and oil maintenance notifications. These items are adjusted after your service by a technician at your Lexus dealership. Push your Go Back button and come to Meter Settings. Push the dot to open. And this is where we can customize not only the language of the display from English, French, or Spanish. You can change units from miles to kilometers, turn on or off your eco indicator, and here are your customizable drive information screens, Drive Info 1, 2, and 3. I really recommend considering customizing at least Drive Info 1 because the item that's in the first position of your Drive Information 1 screen shows here without having to toggle through for anything else. But notice that if I push the up or down arrow, I can retrieve any of that information without opening that main menu. So let's take a look at how to customize those drive information screens. Push the menu button to open your multi-information display. Arrow to the left to shortcut to settings. If you're already on meter settings, simply push the dot to select it. Otherwise, arrow down to meter settings. Push the dot to open your meter settings and arrow down to Drive Info 1. Push the dot, and make sure to know that what we're changing is that first piece of information that shows in your main gauge when the bezel is closed. Push the dot to select Current Bar Type for Fuel Economy. Now we're going to arrow through our list of all of the items that are available to customize. There's lots of fuel economy information averages, including an average speed option. This is helpful if you are a heavy commuter. If you take long trips and you want to find out what your average speed was on that trip, you would be able to zero it out before you leave. Most people prefer to use either the elapsed time so that they see how long the vehicle has been running, or the number one selection is range, so that you know how many miles are left in the tank. So let's push the dot to select range. Then push your Go Back button to move to the previous menu. Go back again to exit out of meter settings. Arrow down just to loop you back to the top of the main settings screen. Arrow to the right, and you'll see your drive information screen has been customized. Now slide the bezel closed, and you have your range right in front of you. When you're ready to adjust Drive Info 2, arrow down and make your customizations. And then you can do the same for Drive Info 3. Arrow down to the pop-up display, push the dot to open. You can make customizations for intersection guidance, incoming calls, the adjust brightness display. All three items can be turned on or off simply by selecting and then pushing the dot. Push the Go Back button and come down to the needle customization. This is really cool. This lets you choose what color your needle is on your speedometer. Blue, white, push the dot to open, arrow down, select red. Really cool. Arrowing down again, and you can make customizations by opening the Rev Indicator. You can turn it on or off. If it's on, you can customize the setting and change the RPMs. Press the Go Back button, go back again, and arrow down to Rev Peak, turning it on or off. Then you can always default to the factory settings by selecting Default Settings. Push the Go Back button, and then arrow down so that the next time you come to your settings menu, you're right at the top. The other two buttons on your steering wheel are your lane departure alert, turning it on or off. Your lane departure alert monitor will also show in the center of your instrument display. When your lane markers light up solid, it means that the system is recognizing lanes in front of the vehicle. If they're hollow, it's not going to activate if you start to veer out of that lane. Also, if you're using your blinker, you've overridden the system because it knows that you want to leave the lane. And your following distance for dynamic radar cruise control. Your first step is to turn on your cruise control. Simply follow the arrows. Your on-off button is at the end of the stop. Push in to turn it on. Once it's on, you can push down to set your speed when you've achieved the speed that you want to cruise. Push up to resume if you have canceled, and you can cancel by pulling toward you or tapping on the brake. Notice that you can also increase or decrease your speed by clicking up or down. When you turn radar cruise control on, you'll have a message that says radar ready. You'll also see a symbol indicating a gauge, an arrow for the speed setting, and a picture of a vehicle representing your following distance. Just toggle through long range, mid-range, and close range for your options. This means the IS will go ahead and start slowing the vehicle down for you if someone cuts in front of you. It prioritizes the buffer zone or the following distance over the speed. Once it can maintain your following distance and your speed, it will begin to increase speed. If you see the word hold, that gives you an option to select traditional or standard cruise control, not using the radar for following distance. Simply push in hold to activate. You'll see it change from radar cruise to traditional cruise. There won't be a picture of the car anymore because you're not using the radar for following distance. Moving up from the steering wheel, you'll notice the buttons for HomeLink to pair a garage door operator or gate. You also have an auto dimming mirror. Make sure that this light is turned on so that your mirror will dim automatically at night if someone's coming up behind the vehicle so that their lights do not create glare. Dome lights are here. You have individual lights on either side. This button will allow you to turn the dome lights completely on. And then this button is for door mode. You want to make sure that this is flush. If it's sticking out and you can feel it, that means your door mode has been canceled. We want to make sure that your lights turn on when you open a door. We also want those puddle lamps or welcome lamps to turn on when you approach the vehicle at night or when it's raining and dark out like it was today when I was showing you the outside of the vehicle. Up and down to tilt the back of the moonroof just to allow some fresh air in, and open and close to open and close the entire moonroof. Your SOS button for Safety Connect is located right near your dome lights. This is a subscription feature that comes with a complimentary trial period on all new Lexus vehicles. Let's take a look at the items that are on our center console. Release the armrest right at the front. You have 2 USB ports for charging, an auxiliary port, and a 12-volt charger. Moving up from the armrest, and you see our drive mode selector. The drive mode selector has 3 modes. Turn to the left for Eco for a more fuel-efficient drive. Turn to the right for Sport for a more aggressive drive feel. Push down for Normal. Make sure to note that when you select a drive mode, what you're adjusting is the throttle response to accomplish either better fuel economy or a more sporty feel. When you change your drive mode, you'll also see a lighting theme change. Turning to the left for Eco mode, it will actually say Eco mode and you'll see the lighting theme. Turning to the right for Sport mode, and it's a much more dramatic lighting theme with Sport indicated just below your gear position. When you push down for Normal, you'll see the normal lighting theme. There is not an indication for a mode setting in Normal. You'll briefly see an indication on your main screen. Left for Eco, right for Sport, pushing down for Normal, and it will clear. Traction control off and on. When you turn traction control off, you'll have an indication right on the dash. Traction control turned off. Push the button again to turn it back on. If you turn on snow mode, it will tell you right at the bottom in orange. Turn it off, and the indication will turn off as well. Traction control, snow mode. Moving up and past the gear shift, you'll see the seat heaters and fan. Driver's side with 3 levels of heat and 3 levels of fan. Passenger side also has 3 levels of heat and fan. Now, if you don't have someone in the passenger seat, you're really going to hear that fan blowing. So make sure that if you don't have a right seat passenger, that you go ahead and turn off that fan. And then you'll have a quieter ride. One last item here, your heated steering wheel. Just push to turn on and off. I've just moved the gear shift out of the way a little bit so that you can see this better. Heat and fan for the driver's seat, heat and fan for the passenger seat. And then your heated steering wheel. Our hard button shortcuts for our sound system. Power and volume, just push to turn it on and off, and turn the dial to adjust your volume. Tuner dial to make radio selection. CD player is a single disc player. Eject, pause and play. Your radio and media buttons shortcut you to your radio and media screens on your main display. Preset and track will move you through your radio presets and audio tracks, just like the arrows on the steering wheel. So let's push the radio button and you'll see the audio screen appear. Notice at the top left, it says Mixed Presets. You have two different view options. Mixed Presets allows you to save presets of any source in any order that you like. So if you notice in this example, there are 2 FM stations followed by 2 AM and then 1 satellite. That's just an example of how you can mix and match in the mixed preset view. If we select individual presets, then we have 2 separate pages for each source. 2 pages of FM, 2 pages of AM, and 2 pages of satellite. Most people prefer the mixed preset view because it's more customizable. When you want to save a radio preset, you can either use the tuner dial just by turning to the station that you want, or use voice command. Simply press the voice command button, wait for the beep, and give your command.
Please say a command.
Tune to 96.5. And now we have our station playing. Then we can select the preset spot that we want to save and push and hold. Bring the highlighter down to the next spot, tune to your next station in any source, AM, FM, or satellite, and push and hold to save. Let's do a satellite example.
Please say a command.
Tune to the bridge.
Please say the list number.
Number 1. Now we have the bridge playing. We can choose our spot, push and hold, and it's saved. So just use the mouse to make your selections. When you're on the item that you want, simply push and hold. And then it's saved. Right at the top, you have source. This allows you to choose any of the audio sources available to the system. But don't forget, you can also use your mode button. And that will toggle you through AM, FM, satellite, Bluetooth, you name it. On the left side of the screen, you'll see your number of pages of radio presets. This is customizable. If you want to change from page to page, you can either click on the arrows with the mouse, or even easier, use the hard button arrows that are down by your map and menu buttons. The arrow pointing toward the front of the car will move you up. The arrow pointing toward the back of the car will move you down. Your HD signal will bring in all digital broadcasts that are available through HD radio, as well as traffic and weather information. Select Back. You can scan for the next available signal, You can do tagging through iTunes with taggable songs on HD radio. You can explore a station list if you're in an area that has programming that you're not familiar with. Just click Cancel Refresh if you change your mind. Come to the sound selection so that you can adjust the treble, mid-range, and bass for whatever programming that you like on that source. Notice that right now we're on FM, so we're actually only modifying the settings for FM. Push your Go Back button. Come to Presets to return to your preset screen, and then you could make a selection for satellite or AM if you listen to different types of programming on different types of sources. Select your source, come to Info, Sound, and notice that once again everything is centered and we can make our customizations. Push the Go Back button. You could come back to Presets or go to Source and then choose your next source and make those customizations for it. Then you'll make sure that your settings are best for the type of programming that you prefer on that source. Push Go Back. While you're in Sound, if you'd like to make an adjustment to the speaker balance, you can do so just by clicking either rear, front, left, or right. Make sure to note that the speaker balance setting applies to all audio sources. Push Go Back and click Presets to come back to your preset screen. When you have the map open on the main screen, notice that you have icons on the far right side that allow you to open another tile for a split screen view. Click on the music note, and then you would have the map on the left and the music on the right. Other items for the right side menu are quick dials, which are like speed dials when you have a phone programmed in, trip information for fuel economy, and the shortcut side screen for climate control. So let's take a look at the climate control buttons. All of the hard button shortcuts for climate control are right in the center of your console. Very easy to reach. You have auto for the fan, everything off, less fan, more fan, and airflow mode. So let me turn the system on just by pushing one of the fan buttons, and then I'll show you that you can just toggle through airflow mode by pushing this button. And then you'll see where the air is flowing. Notice that we have a temperature for the driver as well as the passenger. That's because we have a dual mode available. So if the passenger would like to adjust their temperature, they can. If the driver would like to adjust their temperature, no problem at all. If you want them to match, however, turn dual off and they'll sync to a single temperature. But the next time that the passenger makes an adjustment, dual will come back on automatically so that it does not interfere with the driver's selection. And did you see how I was adjusting the temperature? You have an electrostatic bar. Just slide your finger up or down until you have the temperature where you want it, or you can tap on the arrows. Warmer, cooler. Nice and easy. Front defrost. When you push the button, you'll see a light come on. Rear and side view mirror defrost also has a light when you turn them on. Recirculating air, outside air. turning the AC compressor on or off, and then back to the dual button. Now let's take a look at the climate control screen on the main display. We've noted this version on the right side small screen. You have auto, AC compressor, and dual soft buttons, just like we saw on the hard buttons. You can also control the temperature for the passenger and the driver. You can even adjust the fan speed. And if you want to change that airflow mode, you can simply click. But keep in mind, hard button shortcuts are a lot easier to navigate, especially while you're driving. If you'd prefer a larger screen, push the menu button and select Climate. And now we have a lot of features that should look very similar. But let's say we don't need two climate control screens because that would be a little redundant. We could select Map at the top right corner. So let me point out just a couple of items that are different on the full screen for climate. Eco Heat and Cool allows the AC compressor to cycle off more frequently and sooner so that you can help save on fuel economy. This is an additional menu. It opens a pollen filter. If you select the pollen filter, it's going to close the vents to outside air and push all the air in the cabin and cycle all the air in the cabin through this more powerful pollen filter. You can turn it off when you're ready, or it will cycle off automatically. You can click Go Back on the soft button on the screen, or use the hard button shortcut down by your main menu button. Now that we've finished covering all of the features that have hard button shortcuts as well as soft buttons through the main menu, let's open the menu and take a look at other items that are available. We've explored climate and radio. We've also talked a little bit about media because it does have a hard button shortcut. Media is going to make other audio sources available to you, including a CD if you were to have one plugged in, or an iPod. Your Bluetooth audio player will pair automatically when you pair a Bluetooth phone. When we go into setup, I'll show you how to do that. Coming back to our main menu, coming to phone. Once you have a phone paired to the system, you have access to contacts, call history, favorites, and more. Keep in mind that your favorites will not transfer automatically. To favorite someone, select the star to the left of their name, and it will light up in gold. Then they will be located in your favorites list. The favorites list will sort alphabetically. The best way to make a call is with voice command. Push and release the talk switch, wait for the beep, and then say call and give the name of the contact exactly how you have them listed in your phone book. To launch the voice command system, just push and release the talk button.
Please say a command.
Wait for the beep and give your command. If you have any trouble with the system, push and hold to cancel.
Voice recognition has been canceled.
Another type of voice command is the mobile assistant. Push and hold the telephone off hook button. How's the weather?
It's currently clear and 90 degrees in spring. Temperatures are heading down from 93 degrees to 80 tonight.
Because I have an iPhone paired to the system, I'm able to access Siri. Here's another example of something you could do with the mobile assistant. Send a text to Ava.
What do you want to say?
Hey Ava, I hope your day is going great today.
Your message to Ava says, "Hey Ava, I hope your day is going great today." Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
You can even reply to texts or have Siri read text to you when you receive them. Coming back to our main menu. The Lexus App Suite is compatible with the IS. To access the Lexus App Suite, make sure that your compatible smartphone is paired to Bluetooth. And make sure that you have the Lexus App Suite open on your phone. Keep in mind that the 2020 Lexus IS and older models are compatible with the original Lexus App Suite. From any screen, go ahead and press the menu button. Then select Lexus App Suite. Then you'll have access to any compatible Lexus app. Keep in mind that some of the apps do require a login for that third-party vendor. Make sure to use your current login information for that app or create one. You can do that through the settings in your phone. Coming back to our main menu. If you come to Info, you'll see items like fuel consumption and trip information. Pushing the Go Back button, you have traffic incidents, including an event list if there are traffic events in your area. Pushing Go Back, the unsung hero of the information screen, the weather. This is an outstanding feature. For vehicles with navigation, you have weather, connected through your HD signal and powered by the Weather channel. Click on Current Weather for a current day, 3-day, and 6 and 12-hour forecast. It looks like that rain we've been having today is going to keep going straight through the weekend. I hope it's dry where you are. You can see recently checked locations, national city areas, national cities, local cities, and the all-popular Doppler weather map. My goodness, it looks like it's going to be a soggy weekend. Pushing the Go Back button, you also have access to your vehicle alert history. These are going to be service-related alerts. Pushing Go Back to our main menu. We have 2 remaining items, Destination and Setup. Let's begin with Destination. You can either click Destination from the main menu and launch a destination search through the system, or if you are on the map, you can click the Destination shortcut right at the bottom of the screen. When the vehicle's in motion, you'll have a lot of items that are not available. You'll notice that address and point of interest will gray out. When you have App Suite connected, you'll see web search available. If you would like to contact Destination Assist to have a live operator assist you with inputting your address or point of interest, you can either click on the screen or use the voice command, Call Destination Assist. In fact, there are a lot of really great voice command shortcuts for navigation, including Go Home. One of my other favorites is to enter an address by voice command. Let me show you how. One of my other favorites is to enter an address or a point of interest by voice command, because you can do that while you're driving just by using the voice command button on the steering wheel. This can also be done from any screen. Let's push the map button and then give our voice command.
Please say a command.
Find Starbucks.
Please say the list number.
Number 1.
Is this correct?
Yes. So you can either click OK or Start to Drive.
Please proceed to the highlighted route, then the route guidance will start.
Once you're on your way, if you decide you don't want to have assistance from navigation any longer, you can either click Destination and click Delete Destination right at the top, or even better, use Voice Command.
Please say a command.
Delete Destination.
Would you like to delete destination?
Yes. So simple. Let's try an address.
Please say a command.
Enter an address.
Please say the full address.
6604 Mercer, Houston, Texas.
Six 604 Mercer Street, Houston, Texas. Is this correct?
Yes. So notice it's made the calculation for me, my route is programmed in, and all I had to do was press one button on the steering wheel.
Please proceed to the highlighted route, then the route guidance will start.
Once you're on your way, if you decide that you don't want directions any longer, the quickest way to delete your destination is the quickest way to cancel your guidance is to say,
Please say a command.
Cancel route. And it's gone. So you don't even have to have the confirmation with delete destination. Where saying delete destination is beneficial is if you have multiple destinations programmed in a row, you can pick a specific one to delete rather than deleting your entire route. If you move your cursor to the top left corner, you'll see the compass. Just click on the compass to change the view. You can shift to a 3D mode where you'll see it tilted and there's a horizon line. This is really helpful if you're in downtown areas with large buildings that may be a little more difficult to know where your next turn might be. Click on the compass again, and if you notice the red N for north at the top, that means you're in north up mode. North will always be up at the top of the map. The map won't turn with you. Most people prefer the map to behave like a smartphone map. So click again, and you have the direction that you're facing at the top of the map at all times. So the circle with the triangle that represents your vehicle will always be driving up, and the map will turn as you turn. Looking on the left side, you'll see at this point it says 150 feet. That's the perspective of the map. We can zoom out by clicking on the minus sign, or back in by clicking on the plus sign. But the easiest way to zoom in and out on the map is with those hard button arrows down by your map and menu button. The button pointing toward the back of the car will zoom you out or up. The button pointing toward the front of the car will zoom you in. Most people prefer to stay around 300 or 700 feet of perspective so that they can see more street names around them. If you've opened split screen mode, for example, you have the map on the left and your audio system on the right. If you'd like to go back to full screen map, just slide your highlighter on top of the map and you'll see the full screen icon appear. Simply click and your map will go back to full screen. Make sure to note that the map and the menu are the only items that will be full screen. If you click on climate, or if you go to the sound system, they are all going to operate on the left side of the screen when you've selected from the hard button shortcut or the main menu. So let's take a look at that again. Full screen map, split screen, map on the left, audio on the right. Move the mouse on top of the map. Select the full screen icon. Keep in mind, if you're in a phone call, the full screen icon will not show up. Click down and you're back to full screen. We just have one more item on the list, the all-important setup. Most people come to setup to pair a phone, so Bluetooth is usually the first stop. But just for learning purposes, let's start on the left-hand side under General. This is where you would come to make adjustments to your clock. For example, to turn daylight saving time off or on, depending on the time of year and where you live. You can also adjust your time zone if you don't have auto adjust by GPS turned on. When you turn off auto adjust by GPS, this allows you to manually customize your time zone, but it lets you set your clock ahead. So if you maybe have a tendency to run a little late, you could sneak your clock up a little bit. Now notice that while I'm clicking on things, you're not seeing it change. If you're seeing the 00 for on the hour, what this is doing is every time I click either plus or minus for hours or minutes, my adjustment is reflected on my analog clock. Notice that I'm scooting by the minute. If I click that 00, I come to the top of the hour. If I don't want any of those changes and I want auto adjust by GPS turned back on, just turn it on and then everything will adjust for you. We can make a change to the language for the display, units of measurement, button color, our keyboard layout, and then I'd like you to realize that instead of trying to land on these arrows that are difficult for me, and I do this all the time, use those hard button arrows right down by your map and menu button, and that will move you through page by page. Customize image. There aren't a lot of vehicles that have this capability. If you have it, it's a lot of fun. Make sure to check in your owner's manual for the exact settings for saving a customized image onto a USB flash drive, and then you can load that onto your startup screen. Now, take a note that it only lasts for a couple of seconds, so it's kind of a lot of trouble to go to, but if you're into that, it could be fun. Auto screen change. This is a really good feature to keep turned off if you like to have your audio screen on all the time. Auto screen change, when it's turned on, will default back to the map or a previous menu screen after a few seconds of not having any activity. Leave that turned off if you prefer to have your audio screen on all the time. Sound selection, pointer selection, error sound, pointer sound volume, feedback force. Feedback force is something that you want to adjust if you feel like your mouse is moving too fast or too slow. Just click on the plus or the minus, make your change, and then push go back. Delete personal data is a great thing to do if you're getting a pre-owned vehicle. It wipes the system and starts everything out fresh. Software update is where a technician would go if they were updating software on your vehicle. The Grace Note database update is something that a technician will walk through as well. And then we're right back to the start of our general settings. Push go back. Come to voice. Your voice setup allows you to adjust the volume for navigation.
Guidance will be at this volume. Guidance will be at this volume.
You can even turn it off. Now, if you are turning voice volume off, keep in mind it is going to impact more than just navigation. So I highly recommend just
will be at this volume.
Turn her way down. Pressing go back. Bluetooth is where we would go to pair a phone. To pair your smartphone, push menu. Select setup. Then select Bluetooth. If you're prompted with this message about wanting to add a device, click yes. This is a registration waiting screen. Your next steps will happen on your smartphone. We're using an iPhone as an example. Open Settings, come to Bluetooth, and allow the phone to search for the system on the car. You'll see Lexus IS. Click right on the words Lexus IS, and then click Pair and Allow. You'll see that the system is connected on the phone as well as on the Lexus. To turn the texting permission on, come to Information, where it says Show Notifications. Toggle that to On. If you're using an Android phone, you'll be prompted during the setup process to turn messaging on. Then just clear out. Click on Bluetooth at the top left corner and Settings at the top left corner. Once you have a device in the system, you can always add another device or remove a device. If you get a new phone, you want to remove the old pairing before adding your new phone to the system. Make sure to remove the phone from the car and the car from the phone. Click Remove, and then select the device you would like to remove from the system. Click down, and then click Yes to confirm. Make sure to also remove it from your phone. From Settings, come to Bluetooth, click to open the Information menu. Look for Forget this device, and then click again to confirm. Now, your phone system and your Lexus system are clear and ready for a new device pairing. Once you have a phone paired to the system, come to System Settings. In System Settings, I always recommend that if you have multiple devices paired, that you turn Preferred Device Settings on and choose the phone that you would like it to default to when both phones are in the vehicle. Pushing Go Back and Go Back again. Come to Audio. This is where you can customize the number of radio presets. Remember when we saw 6 pages of presets? That's because we have 36 presets total, 6 per page. But if you just want 6 presets, I'll push our radio button, and now you see page 1 of 1. It just depends on what you want to save. If we want to add more, come to Menu, come to Setup, right back to Audio, number of radio presets, max it out at 36, push the radio button, page 1 of 6. Coming back to Setup, you can customize your traffic settings. Lots of different things that you can turn on or off. Then you can come to the second page. This is another arrow that can be a little tricky to land on, and there's not a hard button shortcut for it. Sorry about that. Navigation is where you would customize your Go Home shortcut. It's important to note that when you set your Go Home shortcut, that you set something close to home and not your exact house, just for safety reasons. Pushing Go Back, Vehicle. You can program in information about maintenance, but you will be prompted automatically. It is nice to set your dealer, however, if it hasn't been set for you already. Pushing Go Back again, and vehicle customization is where we want to be. Door lock settings. This is where you can choose if you want just the driver's door to unlock when you put your hand in the driver's door handle, or all doors. Completely up to you. Just think about how often you drive alone, and for safety reasons, would you prefer it to remain on driver's door only? Pushing Go Back. Adjustments for climate settings and light settings. Headlamp sensitivity is a popular one to adjust. Go Back. Lexus Park Assist. Remember those parking sensors that we looked at the beginning of the video? You can adjust your alert volume. You can turn off the image that displays with your warning, and you can customize the sensitivity, front and rear. Pressing Go Back once again to our backup camera guideline settings. The most popular view is with the yellow dynamic lines that show your intended path. The blue line option shows your full turn angle. If you choose the red line only, that is an indication, just warning, that you're getting much too close to the bumper. It's less than a foot away. So we'll keep the selection on the dynamic line version. Pushing Go Back again, and then we can customize more details about the phone once we have a phone paired to the vehicle. Push Go Back. You can make customizations to the Lexus App Suite, including voice volume and the data usage notification. If you're using this app on a regular basis, it's a nice idea to go ahead and just say never display. The thing to know about the App Suite, it's streaming and it's using your cellular data from your telephone plan. If you do need a reminder, then you can have it display every single time you open the App Suite or just once per drive. Pushing Go Back and Go Back again. Data services. This is a customization to pull a data signal from your HD signal as well as your mobile device for the Lexus Enform App Suite, traffic, and weather information. This will be the strongest signal version. If you choose HD only, you might have gaps in coverage for weather specifically, because weather does require a strong signal to pull the data from the Weather Channel. Pushing Go Back again, and we have completed the menu. If you're traveling at night in an area that's more remote and you would like to turn your screen completely off, push Menu and then come to Display on the top right corner. you can select Screen Off. Thanks so much for exploring the Lexus IS with me today. If you'd like to be kept up to date with our technology videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.